So I thought I'd do a quick video on how I'm using emotional surrender in order to lose weight. And to be honest, 90% of the time, when we want to create something, it's honestly worth surrendering to that desire. That's what I find most people don't do. We want something, we want it, but we're not allowing ourselves to want it as fully and deeply as we can, and that's why generally these things don't really tend to work out for us. Like, for example, if you want a relationship, or you want a relationship with someone or something, surrendering to that desire that you really truly want that will help unplug that energy. That's what I really find. It unplugs that motherfucking energy. And that I find is really exciting. Now, what about weight? What about weight loss? What about all of this stuff? Now, there's two facets that I really found that's really helping me take control of my own weight, achieve my weight goals that I've always sort of wanted to do, and without a sense of willpower. Like, what I find is, I've tried a lot of diets, and willpowering my way through it hasn't necessarily helped. So there's two things that I've really found that really have helped me personally. This week I'm in the throes. I've lost 3 kilos. Let's see what happens next week. I don't really mind now, but I'm just like the energy is out there, so I'm really excited to see it flow. But there's two facets, two things that I had to emotionally surrender to that in this video I'm going to be talking about. So if you don't know who I am, hello, my name is Sharam. If you don't know what surrender is, it's basically just emotional healing. It's like we look at what's going on inside of us to sort of develop a much more deeper relationship with our emotions and to sort of let them out, you know? It's really important to sort of let our emotions out and to truly be one with what is going on inside. I came to this conclusion, as always, I always repeat this every single time because I feel like it needs to be said. I came to this conclusion, this deep understanding through my work with being a relationship coach. So realizing that a lot of the time, people in relationships struggle because they're actually grieving is really important. So that's the first step, is what I've found so far. Now, this is all like primordial. So it's the first steps to what I'm eventually going to be sharing in full detail once I get shredded. But so the first step is to actually surrender to the grief that we have around our body. Now, that's the fucking painful part. That's the part that no one wants to do. To admit to ourselves that we feel fucking bad about what's going on or about our appearance. If that's something that's going on. A lot of people have found the deep, profound acceptance in that. And if that's where you're at, you want to skip to step 2. But the first step is to surrender. How do you feel about your body? How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel shit? Do you feel sad? Do you feel depressed? You got to let that shit happen. You got to let that shit come up. Most of the time, that's not what we're doing. And as a result, well, we're basically beating around the bush. That's why I find at an emotional level, and I'll always speak at an emotional level, these diets don't tend to stick. They don't tend to stick because we ourselves are still dealing with shit. Like, we're still dealing with our deep repressed feelings about how we look and how we feel and how we feel about how we look. So we do the diet, but we emotionally are still in the past. So what do? We overeat, we bring ourselves back there. That's why you see, for most people who do a diet, who the changes don't stick, for those people who the changes do stick, it doesn't matter what diet they do. They're the ones who have changed. They're the ones who go, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And they jump from whatever works. Because truth be told, there's no fucking one diet that works. That's what I've learned through my own surrender. Now, the second really interesting thing that must be shared is that eventual surrender to the desire to change your body. Now, would that work on its own? I truly believe that would work on its own. If you truly wanted to, you could surrender to that desire to create that body that you wanted. But I think we want to take a really deeper, emotionally profound perspective towards all of this. Because if we have yet not processed our shit around how we feel, we're always going to be running away from something towards something else. And there is nothing wrong with that. But I prefer the perspective of doing rather than being. Being rather than doing. Be someone who's healthy. not do health. Be someone who is looking after yourself, not do look after yourself. There's a difference. There is a profound difference between the two. It's like being someone who is attractive versus doing attraction. Doing will get you the result, but being, there is no willpower in being. That's the key here. If you are a fan of me, if you're a fan of this fucking message I share of emotional surrender and dealing with the bullshit underneath, you are a fan also of living with the flow of life. Meaning you want life to work for you, not against you. You don't want to keep fighting and trying to swim up that stream of life. You want to go down with it. But down with it also means dealing with your shit. Now, most of the time I find that, truth be told, that desire to control one's body, to look after yourself, to feel, like to let yourself be fully you, is there. That it's like a desire that's there deep within us that needs to be let out. But for most people, we're not eating because we're hungry. We're eating because we're sad. We're eating because we're depressed. So dealing with that depression, dealing with that sadness, removes those reasons to eat. And that's the interesting part. That's the fucking exciting part. That's the part that is a direct correlation to people's relationships. Because why do we date? We date because we're sad. And then we go, I want a relationship with this person. And they don't want a relationship with us because they know that it is not a relationship with them that we want. It's a relationship with sadness. And they are not responsible for our sadness. We are. Unless they are a caregiver archetype. And, you know, there is that. People do that. They're like, you need me, therefore I love you. But truth be told, we as humans are capable of so much more, and that's really exciting. That's really exciting to know and to feel, and to maybe you don't already feel this, maybe you will, maybe you do, but to feel that everything we want is within our reach, and that is so fucking exciting. And to know that maybe it won't come in the way that we want. Maybe it'll come in so much better. You know, like, I talk to people about the relationships, and it's like coronavirus time. It's like in Melbourne, it's like lockdown, hardcore lockdown, barely. We can now meet up with someone for a walk. Slow down. But it's interesting because, you know, talking to people, they're like, oh, you can't really meet people. It's like, fuck that. You still can meet people. Doesn't mean you have to be within their space, but you do not have to let shit alter your actions long term, right? So what I'm getting at is that it might not come always in the way that you want, because shit fucking happens. People change their mind. A virus happens. Fucking world's end. The expression, the creation that we want, the relationship, the body, the money, the whatever we want, is not truly, it's a conduit for our energy. So it does not truly, like, it's the desire is exciting. Like, let the desire come up. Surrender to your desire. That's like first fucking step. Surrender to your desire. Surrender to your desire. But the energy is ours. The energy that we express through the relationship, through the fucking, the thing that we're going through, that's ours. That's ours. We are the artists of our life, deciding I want to express my energy through business, through health, through fitness, through a relationship. It doesn't generally matter what the relationship is, because that person might not want to be with you, but you will always get something better. Because when you decide, this is what I want, this is the kind of relationship what I want, and admit to yourself the fucking truth, we as people then will find the path that is most unique for us, considering the life circumstances. Because life does have circumstances. And that's worth remembering too. Ciao. I said ciao!